Top of the table clashes, rivalry games, and upsets. What more could you ask for? MLS Rewind on the Daily next. Welcome to the Daily for Monday, June 25th with Andrew Wiebe. I'm Jason Segini. We had top of the table clashes in each conference this past weekend. We're going to start in the East, where the New York Red Bulls hosted DC United with all the guys who've played for both teams, Dwayne DeRosario, Dax McCarty. Who would have thought it was another one, the right back for the New York Red Bulls, former midfielder for DC United, who would shine.
Yeah, a guy that DC United let go at the end of last season, Brandon Barklage, with 2 goals, his first 2 in MLS, the most unlikely of heroes in this scenario for the Red Bulls, but a great performance from them overall, especially after going down 1-0 early to Chris Pontius. Pontius made up, brought DC back a little bit later on to make it 3-2, but DC just could not break through. A big win for the Red Bulls, and of course Barklage, the big hero, said he was on cloud 9 afterwards. A great Atlantic Cup match there on NBC Sports Network.
All right, well, now the team's tied atop the Eastern Conference. The Red Bulls, though, with a game in hand. New York actually now 5-0-2 at home. They are the out of all the teams in MLS, they have the best home record, one of only 2 undefeated teams. The Dynamo are the other. Another team that used to be undefeated at home every year, it seemed like, Real Salt Lake, they were hosting the San Jose Earthquakes. This is the top of the table matchup I talked about in the Western Conference, and it was the Earthquakes who came into Rio Tinto and beat Real Salt Lake. This is their second loss at home this week.
Yeah, a big loss for RSL and another disappointing one for them. I know Nat Borchers and Nick Raimondo will probably want to have this one back. 2 soft goals for San Jose, but hey, they're not complaining. We talked about New York being the best home team in the league. San Jose is the best road team in the league. 6-2-1 on the road. They played 9 of 16 games away from home, and yet there they are at the top of the Western Conference, top of the Supporters Shield standings right now on 33 points.
Another one of the headlining matchups this weekend was the Portland Timbers hosting their rivals, the Seattle Sounders. What an atmosphere it was at Geldwin Field. The tifo was incredible. Andrew, the most important thing, obviously, is the W on the board. John Spencer's men get it done.
Yeah, a lot of talk about how much pressure John Spencer was under coming to this match, what with the Cal FC loss and just kind of a floundering season for the Timbers. But if anything is going to get you off the hot seat up there in Portland, it's going to be a win against the Sounders. And this was a great one for Portland fans. Chris Boyd getting the scoring started, some sleepy defending from the Sounders on that one. David Horst giving them the second, and then they hold on. A little bit of extra clickers in the end, although that's what you expect in a game like this. Freddy Montero seeing red for a little bit of silliness there late on, and then Lavelle Palmer with a little bit of an elbow to Eddie Johnson gets him sent off as well. But Spencer will be happy. Timbers Army will be happy. The only ones going home unhappy on Sunday night were Seattle fans and Siggy Schmidt and his team.
And that wasn't the only matchup of Western Conference teams. It was all conference games this week, it seems. So the LA Galaxy taking on Vancouver Whitecaps. Remember, expectations are high for Vancouver this season. The LA Galaxy have been down. Things seem to have switched around, and the Galaxy now are cruising.
Yeah, we've been singing Vancouver's praises for the last month or so. A lot of that coming back to that defense. And what do you know? That defense let them down on Saturday. LA running roughshod in the first half. 3 goals. Landon Donovan, Mike McGee, Robbie Keane. A beautiful goal for Keane, weaving through the Vancouver defense. After the match, Martin Rennie said his team looked starstruck. Maybe said, maybe they wanted to get some autographs out there. They did not defend the way they were capable of, but all of a sudden LA is sneaking up on MLS. They're now in a playoff spot, and 3 straight wins on the trot. You've got to start thinking this team is hitting their stride.
Continuing the intra-conference theme and moving over to the Eastern Conference, the biggest result had to be the Philadelphia Union smacking around Sporting KC at PPL Park this weekend.
Yeah, this is the surprise of the weekend, a 4-0 win for John Hackworth and the Philadelphia Union. And there's always a lot of talk when a new manager takes the reins. Will the team respond? Will they come out and get the results needed? And Philadelphia does that and more. Jack McInerney with 2 goals in the first half, and he puts them up by 2. And Sporting Kansas City just never was able to respond. A big reason for that, Carlos Valdez, a huge performance from that Philadelphia Union defender, especially with Sporting Kansas City with their first choice front line up there. But a huge win in Philadelphia, and one that they'll hope to build on after this disappointing start this season.
Yeah, you mentioned John Hackworth. It seemed like everything he did paid off. McInerney into the starting lineup, scores 2 goals. He subs him out for Antoine Hoppeneau. Hoppeneau draws a PK. Then he scores a goal later on. So congratulations to John Hackworth for getting his first win as Philadelphia Union head coach. A Another new head coach, looking for his first win still is Paul Mariner. Despite going out to another early lead against the New England Revolution, Toronto can't hold on.
Yeah, 2-2 draw with New England up there at BMO Field, and it's got to feel like deja vu at this point for TFC fans. You get that early lead, you start thinking, hey, maybe this is the day, but in the back of their minds, I got to believe that the Reds faithful were thinking, when are those goals going to come? And New England pushed. They almost didn't get it. Benny Feilhaber hitting the post and a couple chances going, wanting Saracen hitting one into the upper atmosphere. But then all of a sudden, Blake Bretscheider comes and pulls one back, and then it was just push forward time for New England. They finally got it in stoppage time. Chris Tierney puts it home and breaks Toronto FC hearts. Yet another one to mark down on that list of disappointing results for them.
All right, well, Toronto back in action Wednesday night, so they can turn it around quickly, try to get a result against Montreal. Montreal got a great result, 4-2 victory over the Houston Dynamo. And now for the Houston Dynamo, that's 7 goals they gave up this past week, so a little trouble lurking there. The other Eastern Conference matchup we should mention, Chicago Fire, 2-1 victors over the Columbus Crew. Plenty to talk about. You got to check out Extra Time Radio later today. You can get it on MLSsoccer.com or iTunes or Buzzsprout if you want to download it. That's all we have for the Daily today. We'll be back with plenty more tomorrow.